Hello, this is lesson number 5 on simple and compound interest. In this, I will discuss about the examples on compound interest. These examples will clear your concepts that I have explained in the previous two lessons. Let's start with the simplest of example. Uh, Suppose that your principal is given to you 8,000. Rate of interest is 20% per annum compounding annually. Compounding annually. First, you need to calculate the compound interest of 2 years. What will be the compound interest 2 years? Now, this is very important to understand. In aptitude exams, you need to solve the question in a faster manner, least possible time, using logic. Now, if you need to calculate the compound interest for 2 years, in books, aptitude books, or school level, how you used to calculate compound interest for 2 years? You calculate amount of 2 years minus principal. That is what you used to calculate. Amount of 2 years minus principal. That is P into 1 plus R by 100 power 2 minus P. Now this method we don't have to use in solving the questions in aptitude exams. This is not, it's a lengthy method. It may take time to solve the question. We will solve by logical method, which will save our time. I will calculate first compound interest of first year, and compound interest of second year. Then I will add these things. It's very important to understand how to solve. In most of the books or most of the schools, you have, in school level, you have learned this way to calculate the compound interest. And also aptitude books, all aptitude books you will find that way, but it's a lengthy method, you don't have to use this. Compound interest of first year, we know that rate of interest is 20% per annum compounding annually. So compound interest of first year is R percent of P, because principal is initial principal. 20% of 8,000, 10% of 8,000 is, as you have done the percentage chapter, is 800. So 20% will be 1600. This is the compound interest of first year. Now, as I discussed previously, very important concept, that if rate of interest is R percent per annum compounding annually, your principal compound interest amount will increase by R percent every year. R percent every year. So this is the compound interest of first year. Compound interest of second year will be 1600 as it is. This will increase by 20%. This is the compound interest of first year. This will increase by 20%, R percent. So 1600 plus R percent of 1600. Your compound interest of first year will increase by R percent. This is 1600 plus 20% of 1600. That is 1600 plus 320, 1920. So total compound interest of 2 years would be 3520. 3520. It's very easy to calculate, and you can solve these kind of question in less than 30-40 seconds. First you will calculate the compound interest of first year, that is 20% of 8,000, 1600. Now 1600 plus 20% of 1600. Your answer will be 3520. Now in same question, if you want to calculate the compound interest of 3 years, again I can calculate in less than 30-40 seconds. First year, second year, third year. Percentage should be strong. First year compound interest was 1600. You know that rate of interest is 20% per annum, compounding annually. So 1600, this will be 1600 plus 20%, increase by 20% of 1600 we calculated. This is 1920. Now third year simple interest will be second year increase by R percent. 1920, this will be there, plus 20% of 1920. This is 1920. 10% of 1920 is 192. So 20% will be 384. This is 2304. So you can add this and you will be able to calculate the compound interest for 3 years. Now best advantage of this kind of method is that you can individually calculate for second year. But by formula, you can't calculate the compound interest for second year or third year specifically. So this is a very important method, logical method. Again, by same logic, the logic was that whenever rate of interest is R% per annum compounding annually, your principal compound interest amount will increase by R% every year. Continuing with the same example, principal was 8,000, rate of interest was 20% per annum compounding annually. What if I need to calculate compound interest of 2 years and 3 months? 2 years and 3 months. 2 years and 3 months. Again, you don't have to use the school method, what you used to do in school, and aptitude book method. Aptitude books method, you don't have to go by this. It will take time. We will solve by logical way. We have calculated first year, second year, compounded. First year it was 20% of 8,000 and 1,600. This was 1,600 plus 20% of whole second year of 1,600. This was 1,920. Now we calculate the complete third year interest rate. Third year interest rate full will be how much? We calculated 1920 plus 20% of 1920. This was 2,304. Now this is the for entire third year. But 3 months compound interest we need to calculate. 3 months compound interest will be equals to 1/4 of compound interest of third year. As simple as this. So 1/4 of 2,304, this will come 576. So in this way you can easily calculate. So total interest would be, compound interest will be 2 years, 3 months would be 1,600 plus 1920 plus 576. It's very important how 576 comes. First you calculate the compound interest for entire third year. This is the compound interest for third year. Divided by 4, you will get the compound interest for 3 months. That is 1/4 of a year. What if rate of interest is compounding semi-annually? How you will calculate the different kind of compound interest? For example, your principal is 6,000 rupees. Your rate of interest is 20% per annum compounding semi-annually. This 20% is the annual rate of interest, but it is compounding semi-annually. So your rate of interest for 6 months would be half, that is 10%. Now first let's say if I need to calculate compound interest of 1 year. Here I will calculate compound interest of first 6 months. 6 months. Then compound interest for second 6 months. First 6 months. This is first 6 months and second 6 months. For first 6 months, your rate of interest is 20% per annum compounding semi-annually. But for 6 months, the rate of interest will be R by 2. So R by 2% of P. This is the compound interest for first 6 months. That is 10% of 6,000. That is 600 rupees. Now, as I told you that whenever rate of interest is 20% per annum compounding semi-annually, your compound interest will increase by R by 2% every 6 months. This what I explained in the slide. Whenever rate of interest is R% per annum compounding semi-annually, your principal compound interest amount will increase by R by 2% every 6 months. So R is 20, R by 2 will be 10. So compound interest will be increased by 10% every 6 months. So second 6 month will be 600 plus 10% of 600. That is 660 rupees. 660 rupees will be your. So total interest for 1 year, compound interest for 1 year would be 1260 rupees. In that way you can calculate. What if I need to calculate the compound interest for, let's say, same question, compound interest of 1 year, 3 months. So I will calculate compound interest of first 6 month, compound interest of second 6 month, compound interest of third 6 month. I will calculate, then I will calculate for 3 months. So first 6 months I know that this is equals to R by 2% of P. Why R by 2? Because it's I need to calculate compound interest for 6 months. So 10% of 6,000, it was 600. Now this 600 will increase by R by 2% every year. R is 20% per annum compounding semi-annually. R by 2 would be 10%. So 600 will increase by 10%, becomes 600 plus 60, as I explained you in the previous slide. 660. Now 660 plus 10% of 660. This will be third 6 month. So it will become 660 plus 66. This will be equals to 726. 726 will be your compound interest for third year. This is the compound interest for third year. But we want what for complete year? For 3 months, we know that 3 months is equals to half of 6 months period. So 3 months interest would be half of 726. That is 363. This will be your compound interest for 3 months. Because for entire third 6 month it is 726. For 3 months it will be half of this, 363. So your total compound interest for 1 year, 3 months would be 600 plus 660 plus 363. This is 666, 12, 1500 plus 123. This is 1623 will be your total compound interest for 1 year, 3 months. So in this way you can calculate for the compound interest for any period of time. In the next class I will continue with the more examples on compound interest. Thank you.